Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today with me here I've got my husband Dave, and he just happens to be my cameraman as well.
Yep.
So in the future we're going to be doing a couple of cooking videos together, and our channels will be cross-referencing each other a bit at some point. And you've probably heard of his channel before through my Facebook page and that. But today I would let Dave just introduce himself and tell us a bit about his channel. So it's all yours.
Thank you. Okay. My channel is called Scotsman in Bulgaria, and we started it back in November time. And basically, it's a channel following our everyday to-day life in the garden, with our chickens. I've been doing a bit of DIY, and even following the culture and traditions of the village and the surrounding area. And I think it's pretty interesting. So
And educational.
it's educational and informative, because I put a little hints and tips on how to do things as well. And so please follow, and Carleen will put a link in the description, how to follow to my link. So,
And it's called Scotsman in Bulgaria.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that, Dave.
no problem.
So for today, for the recipe that I'm going to show you, we're going to be making a cheesecake, a healthy cheesecake, and it's also suitable for our Dukan diet followers. You'll also see shortly we're going to be changing the name slightly of the channel, but it's still all about Dukan and what is healthy. And so just so that you're aware, it's still the same channel, still the same end result. So the cheesecake we're going to be doing today is a baked cheesecake, and it's going to be in small individual molds because I find that's really handy to have. And then there's no temptation of a large cheesecake, and every time you look at the leftovers on the plate you're thinking, oh, maybe I should have another slice or another one or so. So that's why I opt to do the individuals. So it's a baked cheesecake, vanilla flavor, and then on top we're going to be doing a raspberry and rose topping. So I hope you guys are going to like that. So we'll be back in a couple of minutes, and then we'll show you how to make the cheesecake. Okay guys, so for this cheesecake we tell you what ingredients we're going to need. This is soft cheese. Ideally you want something less than 7% fat. So I've let this out at room temperature for a couple of hours. This is 250 grams. Then the eggs here, I've weighed them out, is 150 grams. So it's 3 large eggs. And then we've got 40 grams of sweetener here. If you don't want to use sweetener, you can use caster sugar instead, or you can use some honey. And then I've got 20 grams of corn flour. And the flavor we're using today is just some vanilla extract. This one over here is not that strong, so I'm going to be using a teaspoon. But if you're using different products, you might need less than a teaspoon of vanilla. You can also use vanilla beans or vanilla bean paste. So there we go. So we're going to just put that together really quickly. I'm going to add the vanilla to the eggs. There we go. And I'm just going to break the eggs up a little bit. Very important not to whisk it too much.
You don't want too much air in it.
Exactly. If you've got tons of bubbles in the cheesecake, that often creates huge cracks in the cheesecake. So just break it up enough without whisking it too fast. So I wouldn't use an electric mixer here. Just make sure it's well broken up. You can just even stir it, is a good technique. Here we go. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to just mix our sugar with the corn flour. So I find if you do it that way, you don't get lumps. And if there's any lumps in the corn flour, just break them up so it's totally smooth. So now we're going to take the cheese, put it in a larger bowl. There we go. It's nice and soft. And I'm going to add the egg. Give it a little stir. And then I'm going to add the corn flour and sugar mixture as well. There we go. So I'm just going to stir that and just make sure it's really well mixed. You could use a whisk here, but just don't be tempted to beat it too much. So I'm just stirring it. Here we go. So you'll see there's not many bubbles. If you do see a bubble, just try and pop it. There we go.
Smells nice.
There we go. So over here I've got some individual ramekins. There we are. So I like making my cheesecake in here because one little ramekin is one portion, and if you've got a family of 3 or 4 people, then it's just ideal for one evening for the whole family to have a little dessert. I don't make a crust on these today, just simply to save a bit of time. But if you have a look on my Facebook page, there's a recipe for cookies, oat bran cookies. You can just put 1 cookie in the base and that will work very well. And later this year we will do a set cheesecake where we will do a biscuit base. So we'll do that later this year. Okay, so now I'm just going to get a little jug. Pour the mixture in here. There we go.
Yeah, use a spatula and get every drop.
Here we go, no waste. Okay, so I'm going to try to divide this into 4 portions. There we go. I've preheated the oven already to 150 degrees. And they're going to be going in the oven soon. So the ramekin is not quite full. You'll see while they're baking, they'll puff up slightly, but they'll also sink down again. So here we go. And now a little trick, Dave probably knows this very well, is we just take the tray and drop it or just tap it on the counter. And if there's any large bubbles, they will pop.
Yeah, you can actually see the bubbles.
Couple of tiny little bubbles, but no big ones. So this is all good to go in the oven now. So I put them in the bottom of the oven. So most things go in the middle or the top, but these guys we'll put in the bottom of the oven.
You've preheated the oven, haven't you?
Yes. There we go. So I'm going to put the timer on for 25 to 30 minutes. Hi. So when they are ready, we will show you what they look like.
Right guys, that's the 25 minutes been up. You're just going to check on these guys. Oh, these are looking perfect. See, they've got a slight, see if you've got a slight wobble to them, that means that they're ready. So what we need to do now is just leave these to cool off to room temperature. And then once they're down to room temperature, you can put them in the fridge. But ideally, you want to eat them the next day because they just taste so much nicer. So we will carry on with this when that's happened, and we'll see you soon.
Okay guys, so these ones have now been in the fridge for a few hours. You see they will have gone down a bit. When we just got them out the oven, they were all puffy and everything, but now they've sunk down. And now what we're going to do, we're just going to prepare a simple topping for them. So in here I've got a bowl of raspberries, and I've just literally frozen the fresh raspberries and defrosted them, and I've just basically squashed them down with a fork, and I added a little bit of liquid sweetener. So that's going to be our topping. And then over here I've got a little bit of rose water, so I'm just going to add a few drops, I would say probably about quarter teaspoon, just to flavor it slightly. You don't need to add the rose essence. You can add another flavoring if you like, or just leave it plain. So for Dukan, we can add a little bit of raspberry. That's totally fine. So I'm going to put that on top of our cheesecakes here. A bit more than a tablespoon, just to cover the top. There we go. And another one.
That looks nice.
I hope so. There we go. So you could add a little bit of gelatin to this mixture if you wanted to set your topping, but I prefer not to. I just leave it like that. And now we're going to ask Dave to have a little taste. So I'll take the camera and Dave can have a little taste.
Hey guys.
The best part.
The taster. Right. So you go into it, will be quite solid. That's really nice. Yeah, that's worth the wait. I'll definitely agree on that one.
Okay guys, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you're going to be making yourself some nice weekend treats. I feel we all work very hard, and now and then a treat is absolutely good to reward yourself. And so in the description bit of the video you'll find the recipe with all the ingredients in it, and if you have any questions or any remarks or comments, please leave us a little note.
And I'll put the recipe in my description as well on my channel. So don't forget guys to like and subscribe and leave a comment, and we'll see you in the next cooking video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay. Cheers. Bye.